Hey everybody, welcome back to Erlengrat, episode number 4. How is everybody doing today? I've got great news, folks. If you look off in the distance there, you'll see a big old patch of green. You know what that means? That means the soybeans that we planted last week are ready to be fertilized. They are growing. We've got not a huge field, but a fair size larger than the test field of canola that we did last week. You can see here the soybeans stretch all the way from road to road, and we've got a lot of work to do. But first things first, we need to fertilize because you can see the field state there, 0% fertilized. We want to maximize the yield and get as much money as possible from these soybeans. So we're going to take a little drive on down to the shop, pick up a fertilizer spreader. Last time I was there, I had a brief look in there. I think about $20,000. So we should be able to just buy one rather than lease one. So we've got $47,000 in the bank right now. We're going to go pick up possibly a $20,000 fertilizer spreader, and then we'll fertilize the soybeans, and then we'll show you the entire process of our soybean field from start to finish. Now, I don't think Rick is here today, so we're just going to go in and drop some cash on the fertilizer spreader, and then we'll catch up with Rick, the shop employee, another day. Let's go here. Okay, so fertilizer technology, that's what we want to look at. And we've only got a small tractor, so I think we're going to go with the one of these small backpack looking ones. I call them backpacks because they hook up to the back of the tractor. We don't need the trailer just yet, but I think we will have to lime after we harvest. But we've got to plow. That's a little bit later on. So we have two options. We have the Kuhn one here, which I think we're going to buy, and the other one is the Gamertag one. It's $7,000 more and holds less fertilizer, so I don't think we're going to go with that one. We're going to grab this one. So we went ahead and made that $20,000 purchase, now down to $27,000. But, you know, as they say, it takes money to make money. Let's go over here and we'll pick up the fertilizer spreader, and we can fill this up with the multi-filling station that we have back at the farm. Shouldn't cost too much money for fertilizer. I'm guessing probably $3,000 to $5,000, but we'll check that out when we get back there. So the lid opens just like that. You fill it up, and then it spreads just like a salt spreader on the back of a truck in the wintertime. It spreads fertilizer all over your crops. So let's get back to the farm and fill this up. And we're back at the farm. So we're gonna open up the lid, drive under the nozzle. It's really easy if you've never done this before. This is sort of like a how-to fill a fertilizer spreader. There you go, it's done. And we'll just close the lid. What do we spend there? $5,600. Wow. All right, well, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. If our field was a little larger, this field is not going to use all of the fertilizer in the spreader, so that's from empty to full, $5,600 at today's prices. So we're just going to go around the field until we cover the entire thing with fertilizer. And if you've never fertilized a field before, you'll notice that when we turn the fertilizer spreader on, the field color sort of changes. You can see where the fertilizer has been laid down. You can see right there, so that you don't go over the same spots twice, or you can maximize your coverage by not driving over the same places you've already fertilized. So we're going to get this done, and then we'll check back with you in just a little bit. And just like that, we have now covered the entire field with fertilizer. So now we are 50% fertilized. There's two fertilizing stages. First stage of growing and the second stage of growing is when you can fertilize, or if your seeder doesn't have a built-in fertilizer capability like ours does, then you can fertilize directly after you've seeded. But you'll see here, we cannot see our farm where there it is, our little weird shaped farm. You can't see the fertilizer stages because we need to plow and we need to lime. So that will show up light blue and dark blue after we plow and lime, which we will take care of after we harvest the soybeans. We can't obviously plow now because then we'll pull up all the seeds. So now all that's left to do is to sit and wait for the second stage of growing, and then we can fertilize again up to 100%, and what that will do will increase our yield 66%, I believe it is. It's 33% yield increase for every fertilization stage. And you can see now through the magic of TV, we are now in the second fertilization stage, or the second growing stage, so we can actually lay down the second layer of fertilizer, which we are going to do now exactly the same way as we laid down the first stage. We're just going to follow the same lines around the same field, and then all we have to do is sit around and wait for harvest, but that will probably be tomorrow as it's already 5:26 in the PM, and I don't think the soybeans will be ready to harvest by then, but let's wait and see. And just like that, the second fertilization stage is now completed. Now all we have to do is probably spend the night in the tractor, because our truck's down at the shop, and then wait for the soybeans to grow, because after this is the first stage of harvesting. Here it is. All right, we can now harvest the soybeans. This is the next day, and you can see we are down a significant amount of cash. You know why? Overnight, we lost $5,000 to property maintenance and loan interest. That's right, we still have that $500,000 loan that we have to start making payments on right away, because $4,000 or $5,000 a day is not cool. Not when we've only got $17,000 left. So we're going to harvest up all of these soybeans, and we're going to sell them all right away for as much money as we possibly can, and then we're going to make a sizable loan payment to try and get that balance down. This looks like a good spot to cut in right here. And there we go. Our first actual full harvest on our new farm here in Erlengrat in the Alpine. Going pretty good. Harvester seems to be working okay. That is fantastical. Alright, so we are just going to go around and around until we get full. So let's meet up with the first truck. Alright, so here is the first full harvester. Right now we're at 100%. There we go. So we made it one full lap around the entire field, plus about another half a lap around the field. So almost 1.5 times around before we got full. Now we just have to go and get the trailer, which is parked over here, and then empty out the harvester, and we can continue. Now I think the capacity on this trailer, I think, is 14,000 liters, and the harvester holds, 8,600, I believe. So I don't think there's going to be enough for 2 full trailers. We will have to empty and sell and then come back for the remainder. I don't think it's all going to fit into one, but that's okay. Multiple trips is fine. We're just going to pick the highest sell point and sell the soybeans there. So there we go. You can see we made it just about 1.5 times around before we had to stop and empty. Now we're going to continue on our way. Alright, so here is the last of the soybeans being harvested from our very first soybean harvest. Now you'll see we almost have another full harvester, almost. Which still means that the 8,600 from the first one and the amount that's in the harvester now is not going to fit inside this trailer because it's only 14,000 liters. So we're going to fill up the trailer, check the prices, and then sell the soybeans, and then hopefully make a ton of cash, because we need more money if we want to expand, if we want to get more fields, if we want to get more equipment. Money is key. So after we harvest this, after we sell the soybeans completely, we're going to look at getting a plow, and then we're going to look at plowing, liming. We'll probably lease the lime spreader, and then we're going to replant. So we're going to get all that done. Let's have a look at the soybean prices. Wow, we are going to the supermarket at $3,000 per 1,000 liters there. So we are heading off to the supermarket right now. That is a record high price of $3,000. So we'll meet you over at the supermarket. And we're at the supermarket. Of course, we had to back in so we don't hit things. We've been pretty good lately. We were able to take that little counter off the screen because we haven't hit anything in a long time. So selling the soybeans here at the supermarket for $3,003 per 1,000 liters. We got 14,000 liters to get rid of, and that leaves our in-bank total to $60,000, and there's still more soybeans at the farm to bring back. So let's go and grab the rest of those soybeans, and we'll see how much we got. Alright, that last little bit of soybeans that wouldn't fit in the trailer worked out to be about 2,700 liters, so we're going to drop this off here. That should bring our total to about $65,000, $66,000. Let's see here, 68,000 for one field of soybeans. So we had 42,000 plus the little bit that was there, so that's not bad. So we are going to head over to the shop. We're going to make I'm guessing a $10,000 loan payment to bring it down to $490,000. And we're going to pick up a plow because we've got to plow that field now to bring the field state back up to where it should be. So let's go back into the shop. Actually, we go into the bank menu first. And we'll drop $10K on the loan. There we go. So now we're down to $490,000. The interest tomorrow won't be so high. And let's go have a look at plows. Now the plow I want to get is right here, the Lizard Subsoiler for $17,000. It works forwards and backwards, which means you can attach it to the front and the back of the tractor and go either way. I don't like the color red for the plow, so we're going to change it to orange. We're going to go with orange, and that's the Stera orange. I don't know why orange. It just I like it. I like to be able to see it. It's nice and bright. So there we go. So we paid $17,000 plus a little bit, $17,800 for the orange plow. And this one, since we bought the trailer with us, we can just attach the plow to the front of the tractor, fold it up, and then drive it back to the farm. And then while we're driving back to the farm, it also acts as a battering ram, just in case we accidentally hit things. But I'm not saying that's what we're going to use it for. Just in case, you never know when you're going to need a big orange battering ram. And we made it back to the farm, and without using the plow as a battering ram, of course. So now we're just going to bring this up here. We got to bring the harvester back down and get that out of the way because obviously we cannot plow the field with the harvester in the way. So let's go and do that. It looks like a big orange hood ornament. All right, let's get you out of the way, Mr. Massey Ferguson. Did a good job today, sir. Thank you for harvesting my soybeans. We will use you again in the future. But for now, big friend, you can take a rest. Let's just put you back down here. We need a shed, too, I'm guessing, to park all this equipment in. Maybe we'll do that later on. Sheds aren't that expensive, but houses are. We do need a place to sleep, but we just spent $500,000 on all this equipment, so we should actually probably take care of it. I'm fine sleeping in the truck for now. Alright, let's get this to the back of the tractor, and that way we can pull it instead of push it. There we go. Oh, and I think it's actually backwards. Yeah, the tines are going the wrong way. The little fingers there that go into the ground. Let's drop that. And we'll swing back around, and we'll put that on the right way. And we'll just start plowing the field. So now, of course, after we plow, you remember the field state dictated that we needed to lime. We didn't lime that test spot that we did earlier. That's why it's kind of looked like that. Let's have a look again. All the red means plow. All the blue means lime. So now once we plow, it'll all be blue, and then we'll have to lime. So let's drop the plow. We're just going to start driving around in circles. Follow the outline of the field until we are at the middle, and then the plowing will be all done. Alright, so that didn't take very long. One last little patch and the plowing is all done. We can do that in reverse. There we go. Now we can fold up the plow, put it away, and when we need it next time, it'll be there for us. The bright orange, Stera orange, Lizard 6-meter subsoiler. And now if we look at the map, we can see all of the red has now disappeared. Now all we have to do is go all the way back to the shop, get a lime spreader that we're going to lease, fill it up with lime, and then spread lime all over the field. So let's go and do that. And we're back from the shop with the lime spreader. All we have to do is fill it up and throw the lime all over the field. And then we'll be done. The lime shouldn't actually cost that much, and we're going to use almost all of it that's in here. So there we go, not bad at all. Liming only needs to be done once. I think we've got liming turned off. Our periodic liming turned off, but we're only gonna have to do it once. That's why we leased the lime spreader. If you've never used a lime spreader before, I recommend getting the spreading disc attachment. rather than just the regular spreaders. It goes from 12 meters to 18 meters once you add the disc spreaders like you see here. So then we're just going to go along just like this. Kind of looks like snow. So we're going to cover the entire field with snow, and then the light blue liming indicator will disappear, and then we are free to reseed after this. So let's get this done. And just like that, folks, the liming of the field is almost complete. We've got that one little patch to do, and you can see we've got only a little bit of lime left. That works out. We're not going to save them. There's a little patch right there. We're not going to save the lime that's left over in the spreader afterwards because, well, frankly, we don't need it. If we do happen to buy some more property later on in the game, then we'll just lease the lime spreader again. But there you go. We are all done. We can now park the lime spreader and all the blue will disappear. There it goes. The dark blue spots are the spots that are already fertilized. It is a little patchy, but we're going to fertilize the rest of it anyway. But right now we are going to reseed, probably with more soybeans, because they did so good the first time. Now that we've improved the field state with the plowing and the liming, we can properly get 2 layers of fertilizer in, and then where can we put this? Yeah, we're going to need a shed. And then after we lay down the 2 layers of fertilizer, and we should have a better yield than we did this time, so possibly more than about $60,000 coming out of the soybean field. Now let's just hook up to the seeder, and we shouldn't have to refill this either. This is a leased piece of equipment that we just kept. We did get dinged for it overnight, but as time goes on, we are going to look at buying our own seeder so that we don't have to keep paying on the lease. Maybe we'll get something a little bigger. If we do go wider, we are going to have to get a larger horsepower tractor. This one is almost at the maximum limit for the seeder. So that's another plan for the future as well that we may want to look at soon, is getting or maybe we'll just customize this tractor to have a higher horsepower. We'll look into that, but not right now. We are going to seed some more soybeans, and then we'll get ready for the second harvest here in Erlengrat. We're just going to drop this down and turn it on, and we are ready to go. And we're off. Second planting of the field here in Erlengrat. Second planting. Whoops. I guess we're going a little too fast. Slow that down. Oh, seeder works in reverse as well. There we go. We'll just fix that a little bit. I think I accidentally turned on fast farm there. We'll just go at regular speed. It's not going to take that long anyway. Well, it might. It's only a 6-meter wide seeder. We'll come back and get that little spot right there. And as always, we're just going to go around the outside, round the outside. Vaderstad seeder goes round the outside. And then we'll check back with you in just a little bit. And here we go. The seeding of the soybeans for the second time is almost completed. We're going to make a quick turn and get that last little bit of lime. It's always easy seeding after you lime because all you have to do is cover all the white stuff. And then you know your field is done. There we go. So this seeder does not have fertilizing capability, but we are going to wait until the first stage of growing comes before we fertilize, obviously. So here we go. Everything is planted. You're not going to see anything there. All the lime is gone. It's only going to show in the growing stage. So we'll get to that a little later on. But for now, we're going to park the seeder, and I think we are going to purchase a shed to start putting all of this stuff in because we've got to keep it out of the elements. And, you know, we did spend $500,000 on this equipment, so it only stands to reason that we take care of it. So let's do that. We got to move this thing because I'm going to put the shed over here. We're going to move the lime spreader. We'll send it back a little later on. Or actually, they'll take it back at midnight anyway. It doesn't really matter because we only needed it for that one day. We'll just move it out of the way here. All right, that looks good there. And should we move the trailer? I want to put the shed facing in that little kitty corner, but facing outwards towards the town. We'll just move this back here. Here we go. All right, let's go look at sheds. I think there's a cheap $9,000 shed. That's all I need. There we go. So we'll do that. A little bit of extra cash comes in handy, and we'll put this right here. This is where I want it to go, but I want it nestled in the corner as far as it will go without hitting the trees. There we go. Perfect. And now we can start parking all of our stuff in there. And that is actually going to wrap up this episode, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you're watching Farming Simulator 19, played on the Xbox One console. This was Erlengrat, episode number 4, here with the Alpine DLC. Farming Simulator 19 Premium Edition. My name is JCTV, and this is me saying, hey, see you later.